What's up guys, welcome back to Horsepower and Pizza. My name is Bailey. At the beginning of today's video, I'm here in my office and I am planning out how to build my drive sprocket for the KTM Sketchy Kart, and then we are going to jump into the shop and make it happen. I bought this 39 tooth rear sprocket for a KTM 50 SX Junior, which is exactly what I'm using the engine out of. I went with Vortex because it's an aftermarket company and it's what I ran on all of my motocross bikes back in the day. I know from a manufacturing standpoint that everything is always fuego when it comes to fitment and everything else. The problem being, I need a way to attach it to my rear axle. So much like the aluminum hubs that hold the rear wheels on, I will be building a split collar hub that slides over the axle, has a boss on it that this diameter fits onto, and then it will have holes that I can bolt the sprocket to. So the first step is I need to find this bore size and I need to find out the diameter of this bolt circle. There are 5 holes on the circle, but I will figure it out. It's nothing out of the ordinary. And of course Vortex sent free stickers with, which is obviously the best part of getting parts ever. So to find this bolt circle diameter, I used my dial calipers to measure the bore, and then I measured this web between the bore and the hole, and then I measured the hole. If this was a 6-hole bolt pattern, I could measure directly across between the holes and then add the diameter of one of the holes, and that would put me right at the center point of each hole. But because it's a 5-hole pattern, I add the hole diameter, which would put us at the center point of each hole, because you have to do it for both sides. If you don't follow, I can explain it better on Instagram. I add 2 times the web for both sides, plus the bore diameter, which is not the radius, it is the diameter, the full measurement across here. And this is our bolt circle. That's our diameter in inches. It's just under 60 millimeter. I'm willing to bet the dimensions on the sprocket are metric because KTM is an Austrian company and America is the only country to my knowledge that does not use the metric system. So good on us for making everything difficult. I hope that the time lapse covered everything that I wanted it to. I changed a couple things on the fly and it came out pretty okay. I'll start with this side. This side has the boss that the sprocket goes on, lines up like that, bolt it on, it'll be good to go. The one issue that I had, the 1/4-inch keyway broach that I use to cut this, I use in steels and stainless steels all the time, and I never have an issue with it. I have never had a broach fight me in aluminum the way that this one fought me. Generally, when you run the broach through, you run it through and then you put a shim behind it and you run it down again. I only ran 1 pass of this, so the keyway should be a little deeper. I didn't measure over it. How I'm going to fix that, when I cut the keyway in the shaft, I'm just going to cut it a little bit deeper. I know that's probably not the best way to handle it, but that's how we're going to handle it. On this side, I cut flats on 3 sides of this, so in the mill I could grab it in the vise on 2 sides, and I was going to try to drill and tap through like right here and then split this with a saw, much like the wheel hubs. So there's a bolt through here that tightens down because the bore diameter is the diameter that I need for the axle. I just went off of the diameter of the wheel hubs for this. I could have left this a little larger. The wall thickness isn't thick enough for me to drill and tap through. So I improvised and I put a 1/2-13 in here. Whichever side of the axle gets the keyway cut in it, I'm going to flip it 180 degrees and put a 1/2-13 set screw to lock it on. It's not going to make much torque, so I don't think it's going to spin. And the last thing that I really need to do is I need to come down and spot face these holes for the hardware, because as you can see, they are very close to this diameter. So for me to get a nut or a socket head cap screw in there to bolt through the sprocket is going to be pretty much impossible. But to save time today, I didn't go back and do that. And who knows, I'm fairly happy with this, but at the same time, I think it could be a little bit better. So I very well might remake it at a later time. But now I have a sprocket hub that I can use as a prototype as we continue to move forward with the sketchy cart build. I ordered this awesome hardware to use for the sprocket. I ordered it for the bike that we pulled the engine out of, as I also did with the sprocket. But as you can see, oh, cool, it doesn't work. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the hub, so we're gonna test it out and make sure that it works. If it doesn't work, worst case scenario, I make another one. For all the OGs out there, take a shot, because this was a learning experience for not really having anything at all to go off of other than the dimensions that I pulled off of the sprocket myself. I think it turned out pretty okay. Just a quick update on the bearing carrier. I did end up shortening it up by 2.5 inches. So this is what it looks like now. And I regained that 1/2 inch of ground clearance by counterboring the bottom and using socket head cap screws instead of the hex bolts with the washers and the lock washers. And before I leave you guys today, the front wheels and tires came. They are brand new wheels. Tires are also brand new. And then these are the hubs. I need to figure out how I'm going to mount these because I need to figure something out with my steering. The steering is pretty much the last thing that I'm waiting on, so that should be here soon, and then it's full steam ahead as far as the build goes. I couldn't really mock anything up with the chassis until I had steering and front wheels and everything. So now that that stuff is here, it's go time. I'm excited. I know Danny's excited. Everybody that's been watching this and has reached out on Instagram or elsewhere is super excited. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Give this video a huge thumbs up. At Horsepower Pizza on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. At Pizza Boy Metalworks on Instagram. www.horsepowerandpizza.com if you want to support. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Build it for you.